It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello, it's showtime. What's happening, everybody? Yes, it is time for the Geno Jones Show. Not Dame time, showtime. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel right here on YouTube, part of the Geno Jones Network. So they say subscribe, like, and share. I see you and everybody you know and don't know, everybody that you like, love, can't stand, and hate, tell them to subscribe to the Geno Jones YouTube channel. Like and share this and every episode. The Geno Jones Show is brought to you by the 2022 Charleston Black Expo coming to town. The Charleston Area Convention Center on March 12th. That's a Saturday night. And now Friday night, the night before the big event, Saturday from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m., the 2022 Charleston Black Expo. But Friday night, kind of like the prelude, the major kickoff event, the Taste of Black Charleston, hosted by yours truly, the King, not the King, the King of MCs. That would be me. So, let's see, blackexpocharleston.com, I do believe. So just type blackexpocharleston.com or just do a search, Google, Bing, or whatever, whoever your, like your internet, but whatever it's search engine you use, you know what I'm talking about? Like when you're trying to find something out, a lot of people, majority I think use Google, some have Bing, whatever you do when you want to find something out, just or maybe Siri or Alexa, 2022 Charleston Black Expo. And the website will come up. You can buy your tickets in advance for the 2022 Charleston Black Expo and the Taste of Black Charleston that is going to be happening on that Friday night. It's the event of the year. Trust me, I've been honored to MC it for about 10 years now. Man, I've been here in Charleston, South Carolina, almost 20 years. All right, so let's start at the top. Sherri Sheppard, shout out to Sherri Sheppard, repping the Chi-Town, south side of Chicago. I think she's still claiming Chicago, even if she hadn't been in Chicago forever. I think she's living out in Los Angeles. Sherri Sheppard is going to replace Miss Wendy Williams. For years, she had the Wendy Williams show on TV in syndication. Now, lately, she's had some health challenges, physically and emotionally and mentally. So, and they've had guest hosts, and Wendy hasn't come back. I believe she's still having some health challenges. So now, Sherri Sheppard is hosting the show, and later this summer, the Wendy Williams show is going to become the Sherri Sheppard show. So, Sherri, holla at your boy, holla at your man. Come on. You need to come on the Geno Jones Show. We can talk about it, and you can promote the Sherri Sheppard Show. How about that? So, congratulations, my sister, homegirl, born and raised in the Chi-Town. You know, we do big things, born and raised in Chicago. Just want to acknowledge her. Speaking of another Chicago native, Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard, former NBA star. He played in Washington, D.C. They were the Bullets back in that day, because we're talking about like the mid-late 90s. Then he eventually played for the Miami Heat. I think he was in the league for almost 20 years. So now Juwan Howard, south side of Chicago, CVS, Chicago Vocational High School, stand-up grad. I'm a proud grad of Dunbar Vocational High School. Stand up, mighty men and mighty women. CVS and Dunbar, we were vocational high schools, and we had like the best bands in the city back in the day, and so we had the competing bands and everything. So anyway, so Juwan Howard is now the head basketball coach of the University of Michigan. There was an incident over the weekend with the University of Wisconsin. So apparently, Juwan was upset. His team was losing by 15 points. The head coach, a guy named Guard, I forgot his first name. I think it's Gray Guard or whatever. So the head coach of the University of Wisconsin. His team was winning by 15 points at the end of the game. I think he called 2 timeouts, like 15 seconds left, and then he called another timeout with like 3 seconds left. And basically, for those who don't know, that's like showing up the other team. 15 seconds left in the game. You're winning, leading by 15 points. The game is over. Basically, you just dribble the ball out. If the team is trying to guard you, just move the ball around, let the clock run out. So that didn't happen. So Juwan Howard wasn't really happy about it, and he's walking off. And so the coach of the University of Wisconsin wanted to have a conversation with Juwan. Juwan is trying to walk by the coach, and the coach grabs his arm, stops him, because I guess he's like, no, you're going to stop. I want to talk to you. And Juwan is like, yo, whoa, dude, don't put your hands on me. Don't do that. Just note to the world, you really don't want to put your hands on any black person. But a 6'10" black man from the south side of Chicago, as we like to say, don't come for me if I didn't send for you. Juwan is like, don't touch me. So, you got law enforcement and assistant coaches are trying to stop this from blowing up. So there's an assistant coach on the University of Wisconsin. Now, I don't know what he said. I'm not even going to speculate. I could on my show. I don't know what he said. But whatever he said to Juwan Howard. Now, keep in mind, this is the assistant coach. Because after the head coach grabbed Juwan's arm and stopped him, and Juwan was like, yo, man, don't touch me. He said, I'm going to remember this. Then that ended. Two teams are still kind of, going, jawing, jaw-jacking. And for whatever reason, and the assistant coach, who wasn't even involved in the initial interaction, said something. I don't know what he said. But whatever he said, it caused Juwan Howard's long arm, 6'10" brother, like the long arm of the law, reached over like 3 or 4 people. It was like, pat-ow! Like pimp slap, and then kind of grabbed, almost trying to, what you're not going to do. Today, Juwan Howard released a statement saying basically he apologized to everybody from the university, his family, his players, the University of Wisconsin, the assistant head coach that he slapped, that he pimp slapped, and to say, listen, this will never happen again. Basically, I let down everybody, including these young men who I lead. I'm a leader of young men, not just men. I'm a leader of young men. I go to these kids' homes, and I talk to their parents, and I tell them that I'm going to take care of their sons, and that I'm going to, be a good role model and teach them not just how to be better basketball players and to what they need to improve on their skills to go to the NBA, but how to be better people and better men. And I'm paraphrasing. He said, I failed. And I apologize. This will never happen again. No excuses, unquote. That was the end of the statement, which was good. Because people have asked me about it. And at the end of the day, especially in that position, you are the head basketball coach, not just of a major university, but these are young men. And they look up to you because what happened then after Juwan Howard pimp slapped the assistant coach for saying whatever he said. Now, I guarantee you, the audio between whatever was said, there's audio. I promise there's some audio somewhere, and it's going to get out. It's coming out. We're going to find out what this assistant coach said. And that is no excuse. Juwan Howard said this, regardless of whatever, even if he said those magic words that'll really get your ass whooped, especially if you're talking to a black man, especially if it's a white person. Even if it was that magic N-word or maybe he said something about his players. I don't know what it is, but it was something, and we're going to eventually find out. Because that's just not Juwan. That's not who Juwan Howard is. That's not. But you can't put your hands on me. Like I tell people, I'll never start a fight, but I'll always end it. Now, I mean, if I see you trying to harm my family, then I'm gonna start and end the fight. Basically, you could just call me Robert McCall. You've seen the movie The Equalizer, Denzel Washington. That would be me. That's me. I'm not gonna do a lot of talking. As a matter of fact, when I stop talking is when you should worry. That's just how I am. I will avoid confrontations and conflicts at any cost. Like I said, unless my family is in danger or you're threatening my family. Then you'll get to see that dark side like instantly. But with me, I will go out of my way to avoid a confrontation and conflict because that is not my normal DNA. It's just not. If I don't like you, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I'll just avoid you and not be around you, not have anything to do with you. But I just don't need that negative energy. But please trust and believe. Okay? Like I said, my grandfather taught me this, Conway Jones. Never start a fight, but always end it. So anyway, in no way am I excusing Juwan Howard. He said it best, better than I could. He said, it will never happen again and no excuses. I was wrong. It was a lapse in judgment, failure of leadership. I don't know if he used those words, but in essence, that's what he said. It should not have happened. And people will really try to push you and be an agitator and try to push your buttons. People will try you, and people will initially try to figure out, okay, what can I say to really make this person snap and make them put their hands on me? Then I can say, see, look at him. Just another one of those violent black men. All black men are violent and thugs. They're just violent. Even though Juwan didn't start, he did not initiate the incident. He tried to avoid it. And the coach put his arm, and just imagine if it was reversed. And a 6'10" black head coach grabbed the arm of a white coach, damn near a foot shorter, but then the white coach slapped one of Juwan's assistants. They'll say, well, black men are violent. Why did you grab the man? He was trying to avoid you. You should have just left him alone. Why did you have to put your hands on him? See how the narrative works? It would have flipped. So shout out to Juwan Howard. He was suspended for 5 games. Really, the rest of the regular season in college basketball before March Madness, the conference championship games and tournaments. All that's going to begin around the end of the month, really, like the end of next weekend and the beginning of March. So the University of Michigan's men's basketball team, they got 5 more games. So he gets suspended for all 5 of the games, fined $40,000. He'll be able to coach his team again once they get into the Big Ten Conference Championship. They have a Big Ten tournament, and whoever wins that tournament automatically will go to the March Madness tournament to see who goes and plays in the Final Four to find out who will be the new champions of college basketball. So you may not be a sports fan, but just wanted to because this story has transcended sports. You see it on all the morning news, network news shows because hey, it's and I think I mentioned this, in television news, even print, but especially television news because it's visual. For decades, they've had an attitude. If it bleeds, it leads, which means if it's some violence, that it's like a car crash. People can be on a highway and there's a car crash and people just, no matter how horrific it is, just human nature. They got to look at the car crash. So that's the mentality that news departments and news directors and general managers, they've had for decades. Violence sells. But then they complain about the violence in society, and they try to frame a narrative, especially when it comes to black people and black men, like in Chicago. I mean, you would think that you can't walk down the street without it being a shootout on every street in Chicago. And it's nowhere near that. But it's just the narrative. And not just Chicago, Philly, New York, Atlanta, Memphis, LA. It's just the narrative. Which is why we as black people need to become owner in our own media. Hello, the Geno Jones Network. One of my biggest inspirations for launching this show and this network. So we can flip the narrative and show the truth. And the truth is the vast majority of black men, the 95, 90, 98, 99% are not violent, committing crimes and, gang activity. White folks are violent. They're in gangs. As a matter of fact, the dudes in the hood, they not importing drugs into America. How do you think the drugs get to America? They don't have like speedboats that can avoid the Coast Guard and radar. No, they don't. They don't have them. They don't have that kind of capital. I digress. That's a whole different story. Shout out to everybody. As a matter of fact, let me do this. I'm going to open Top Line Chat. So feel free to jump in my chat room. If you're watching me live, I have a live chat box room open. So feel free to jump in. You got a question, you got a comment, whatever. Feel free. Jump right on in. Say what you got to say. Shout out to all of my new viewers, my new watchers. Shout out to, I believe it's Estelle. I was in I had some, let's put it this way. I had a pair of pants that need some alteration. So I went into the alteration store and I found out that she was actually listening to my radio station, and then she recognized who it was. And I told her about the TV show. She said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch you." And shout out to Nicole Wright, who had a birthday yesterday. She is one of my followers on social media, and said, "Hey Geno, can you give me a shout out?" She is enjoying her birthday, doing her thing somewhere on some island somewhere. I believe she's still out there. She's having a ball, but she said, "Thank you." So I'm just shouting Nicole out. Speaking of birthdays today, and speaking of Chicago Bear fans, Khalil Mack, arguably the best defensive player on the team. He is just a baller. Chicago Bears star linebacker. Khalil Mack's birthday today. He is 31 today. Speaking of champions, Rajon Rondo, two-time NBA champion, won championship. He won with the Boston Celtics against my Lakers in the, 2008 season? Somewhere around there. And then in 2020, he won an NBA championship with my Los Angeles Lakers. They beat Miami that year. So Rajon Rondo is 36. And if we're going to talk about basketball, ladies and gentlemen, before Michael Jordan, there was a guy that Michael Jordan used to look up to when he saw him on TV. And was like, man, I want to fly through the air like this dude. You don't believe me? If you ever get a chance to run into Michael, good luck with that. But if you do, and if you can get him to talk to you, ask him about a guy named Julius Erving. That's right, the Dr. Julius Erving. Happy birthday, Dr. J is 72 today. Today, 2/22/22. So I'm not a numerologist. I don't play the numbers. I don't play the lottery. I really need to. Trust me, I need to. I really, really need to. You never know how God's gonna bless you. So today, February 22nd, Dr. J, 72 today. Happy birthday, Dr. J, Julius Erving, one of the 75 greatest NBA basketball players ever. Because they unveiled the team, most of the guys. Scottie Pippen didn't show up. He's one of those 75 greatest NBA players of all time, but Scottie didn't make it. him and Mike. That's a different show. Him and Michael Jordan. It's just, yeah. Now it's like as the kids say, the tea. Scotty has not just spilled all the tea out. He spilled all the tea out on the floor, and then he took the tea kettle and he just smashed it, just bam. So, but happy birthday. And let's see, it is Pisces. My grandfather that you hear me talking about all the time, Conway Jones. It's the Pisces, born on March 15th. So happy birthday to all the Pisces out there celebrating a birthday. Now, before I get out of here, so 2 years ago tomorrow, a young man named Ahmaud Arbery was just minding his business. He was out jogging, trying to get some exercise. Young man, 25 years old, had his whole life ahead of him. So he's jogging, and then three white dudes, are chasing him in a pickup truck. And his instincts kick in like Spider-Man sense. He's like, okay, why are these dudes following me in this pickup truck? So they try to stop him, and he avoids them. He goes around, and then they follow him again. They basically run him, not physically run him down, but they drive in front of him, catch up with him, get in front of him. So eventually, one of the guys pulled out a shotgun and tried to make Ahmaud Arbery stop pulling the shotgun on him. And Ahmaud Arbery is grabbing his shotgun because he knows then his instincts have kicked in. It's like, man, I am fighting for my life. And he grabs the shotgun, trying to take it away from this dude that's got a shotgun pointed at him, about to kill him. And unfortunately, the murderer shot Ahmaud Arbery. He murdered him. The son of the guy that was driving the truck. Two murderers. And then it goes to show you how racism and this notion of some people call it white supremacy, this brainwashing of whiteness. There's a third white guy who videotaped all of it. He videotapes the cold-blooded murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Now, it took over 70 some odd days to really get the police to look at this case and file any kind of charges. They had the initial district attorney had to be pulled off the case. So the bottom line is, these three murderers, they were convicted in a state trial, they were convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. This happened in some small town called Brunswick, Georgia. So they were convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery last year in 2021. And they received life sentences in a state trial. So this was, you have state cases and then there are federal cases. So this was a state of Georgia trial, state case. The state charged these three men of murder. All three were convicted of murder. And so the father and the son, Travis McMichael and Gregory McMichael, were given life without the possibility of parole in the state case. The videographer, the filmmaker, guy named William Roddy Bryant, he got charged with murder, life with the possibility, eventually, of parole. Fast forward till today. There was a federal trial. As a matter of fact, federal case, the Department of Justice charged all three men with a hate crime. Today, they were found guilty of being motivated with hate when they murdered Ahmaud Arbery and attempted to kidnap him, actually, before they murdered him. Now, Ahmaud Arbery's mom, Wanda Cooper Jones, and shout out to Ahmaud Arbery's mom and his dad too, because his dad, you don't really see him. He's been right there along with Ahmaud's mom. You've seen his mom more on camera than his dad, but they both have been there. But his mom spoke out because his mom was determined, and his family, they were determined to say, listen, We are going to get justice. You all murdered this kid and you tried to cover it up. And the only reason, remember, 70 some odd days before the police ever got wind of this. And the only reason that he was convicted, because these murderers were so dumb or foolish or arrogant that felt that their whiteness would get a jury of other white people to agree with them. Hey, we suspected him of a crime, because there have been homes under construction and people have been stealing things out of them, and they just assumed because he was a black man, he had to be a criminal. He must have been stealing something. So they just kind of assumed on their own, hey, he's a black man, he's a criminal. There's been some folks stealing out of these homes under construction, had to be him. No evidence, and just deputized themselves that they would try to make Ahmaud Arbery stop and talk to them. Like, dude, it's 2021. It ain't 1821. I don't have to stop and talk to you. I am not obligated. You're not a police officer. You can't just self-deputize yourself and just think that you can pull a gun on me. Hell, if you put it, they have, what's the laws? A lot of these southern states have them. Stand your ground. If Ahmaud Arbery had a gun, he could say, especially you pull it on me, legally, Ahmaud Arbery had the legal right to blow this dude's brains out and get off completely. Say, listen, legally, I was standing my ground. And I feared for my life. That's how the law reads. If you fear for your life, then you have a legal right to stand your ground and use lethal force to stand your ground and to save your life. And that was a real life case where if he had a gun, the stand your ground law completely applied in that case. Because the dude, they riding up in a pickup truck, follow him, pull up in front of him, and then jump out, try to make him stop and pull a shotgun on him. So just imagine if Ahmaud Arbery would have had a weapon to defend himself. So anyway, these three murderers were found guilty of being motivated by hate when they murdered Ahmaud Arbery, and they convicted. Now, I just got to say this before I close. I'm glad that the Department of Justice, they took the case, they got a conviction, but there is a but. The Department of Justice accepted a plea deal. Now, the Assistant Attorney General is a black woman named Kristen Clark. And I've seen her on television, very impressive woman. But it was troubling. And I'm not just gonna blame this on Kristen Clark, but she is the assistant. She's the Assistant Attorney General. So it was her, it was Kristen Clark, and I believe a woman named Tara Clay. She was the lead attorney for the Department of Justice of the United States of America that accepted a plea deal with these murderers that basically would say, in the federal case, if you plead, we'll accept the plea. You admit that you committed a hate crime, that hate was your motivation for murdering Ahmaud Arbery, and you will be guaranteed to spend, without the chance of parole, 30 years in jail. But the twist is, and Ahmaud Arbery's mom, she commented on it, which is why I'm commenting on it. She said, the Department of Justice, I thank you for taking the case. But at the same time, you wanted to accept the plea deal from the people that murdered my son. And I begged you, I'm paraphrasing. She said she had begged Kristen Clark, the Assistant Attorney General and the lead attorney for the Justice Department, not to accept the plea. Family members, they begged them, no, do not accept the plea deal. Try their ass and come back, get a guilty verdict, which they did, but they were willing to accept a plea deal from these murderers? And the family begged the Department of Justice, Kristen Clark and the lead attorney working under her. And Ahmaud Arbery's mother said that Kristen Clark and the Department of Justice just ignored her and their family and just granted this plea deal with these murderers. That's troubling. It's just troubling. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't get that. Why would the family, the mother and the father of the kid that was murdered, why would you offer them any kind of plea deal? I don't hear about saving money. Really, this is a human life. I don't get it. And, I've heard the comment, and this is true, sometimes when we as black, and it's tough, we as black people, when we get in positions of power, but we have to work in spaces and in environments where the majority of the people, our bosses, may be white. We have to navigate that situation, but this was so cut and dry. Why? I don't know why, and I'm going to try to find it, but why would Kristen Clark and the Department of Justice, why would they accept a plea deal? And the only reason that the plea deal didn't go through, because the judge in the case denied the plea deal. The judge refused to accept this plea deal. So I just thought I'd give you all sides of the story. So tomorrow, just rest in peace, power in paradise. A young man, 25 years old, had his whole life ahead of him, and died just because he was a black man, because people hated him and thought the worst of him because of the color of his skin. Yes, it's 2021, but in a lot of ways, there are a lot of people still with the ideology, hate, harbor this white nationalistic attitude that if you're not a white male, if you're not white, you're not right. And that we can still treat you as if you are subhuman, that you are less than an animal. But thank God that they found that there were guilty verdicts. Both juries, majority white, gives you some hope. But at the same time, the people that murdered this man, who murdered Ahmaud Arbery, just because he was a black man, and they just assumed because he was a black man that he had to have committed some type of crime. The people that harbored that hatred and that racism and that ignorance and fear were 3 white men. So it's complicated. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life as always. God bless each and every one of you, God. Most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show, brought to you today by the 2022 Charleston Black Expo and the Friday night before the Charleston Black Expo, the Taste the Black Charleston 2022 Charleston Black Expo. Just do a Google search. I think it's charlestonblackexpo.com. Just search 2022 Charleston, South Carolina Black Expo, March 12th. The Taste of Black Charleston is going to be on March 11th. As a matter of fact, on my way out the door, I'm going to let you see. I got a message from the Charleston Black Expo talking about the Taste of Black Charleston. So I want to thank everybody for watching. God bless each and every one of you. And God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Once again, I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel and watch every, or as my man Nelly would say, episode of the Geno Jones Show. Subscribe to the channel. You and everybody you like, love, don't know, can't stand, hate, all y'all, subscribe to the channel. Please share and like, subscribe, share and like. Subscribe, like, and share this and every episode. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts, Goose Creek, South Carolina, which is part of the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Shout out to Mr. Bruce Gage and Allie Jones. She is the official wardrobe stylist and consultant for the Geno Jones Show, along with Mr. Bruce Gage. His Mario Uomo line of clothing. No, you can see that right there. Bam, Mario Uomo, baby. Yeah, there you go. Allie Jones. She is on Instagram. You can follow her, check out her page. She's just a brilliant designer, model, young designer, model, college student, Columbia College, Chicago. So it's Lexi with 2 X's, LEXXIE _ Nicole Designs. Lexi with 2 X's, underscore is that line below. Lexi, 2 X's, _ Nicole Designs. Bruce Gage is on Instagram. Check out his Instagram page. You can see some really just, oh, the drip is amazing. Oh, you said, what? The drip is amazing. Like his fashions, the clothing, his fits, as some people say. Just the clothing, his line. As a matter of fact, he's got already the spring 2022. He's got photos of that line on his Instagram page, along with the fall winter 2021-22. So you won't necessarily see this jacket, this blazer, but just scroll on the page. She's got, oh my God, got to see it for yourself. It's Miglio di Mario Uomo, MIGILIO DIMARIO UOMO. Miglio di Mario Uomo. It's Italian, so make it easy. Just search Bruce Gage on Instagram. Miglio, MIGILIO DIMARIO UOMO. All right, everybody. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show. Shout out to everybody. Let me check one more time. Let's see what we got here. Do we got anything? Okay. Just want to see if anybody jumped in the last minute, had any questions to comment. So thanks, everybody. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be on Wednesday. We like to call Wednesday Working Divas Wednesday. And I think I'm going to have a special guest. She's going to be a return guest who's running one of the very talented, brilliant black women and black people that's running to be one of our next United States senators. Oh yeah, you don't want to miss that show. Spread the word. Tomorrow, live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And if you miss it live, you can go back and binge watch that episode. So right now, go back and binge watch this and every episode. So as always, be blessed. And I'm going to leave you with, check this out. I leave you with this video, this message, talking about the 2022 Taste of Black Charleston that kicks off the 2022 Charleston, South Carolina Black Expo. Until Wednesday, 6:30 p.m., Wednesday evening. Like I said, as always, be blessed. Check this out, man. This food's going to make you hungry.
It's the event of the year, the 2022 Taste of Black Charleston, Friday, March 11th at the Ladson Exchange Park. Join us for a variety of chefs, caterers, and restaurateurs from across the area as they compete to be the best of the region. Featuring America's Got Talent singer Ray Singleton and celebrity chef Carlos Brown. It's the Taste of Black Charleston. Good friends, great food, and a grand time. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit blackexposouth.com.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.